still get started because you know what happened at the end of the game. So
I do.
Go ahead and start us up with the state.
You know, I think it's one of those games where I was really proud of our ability to stick together. When it was physical, it was tough, it wasn't pretty at times for sure. But this is a group that has played a lot of minutes, understands what we're trying to accomplish, and they had to kind of just go through that, right? And we did enough to win. I think in critical situations, we made big plays. And these two young ladies next to me, I'm really proud of.
Really young.
So my first question is, can you touch on the impact that Regan Barkema and Alicia Doyle had in their first game with NIU?
Yeah, I was, unfortunately, Elise had to kind of battle through some foul trouble, but you saw, especially in the second half, what she's able to do on the floor, really in all phases of the game, right? We depend a lot on her defensively. She can for sure create her own shot, and so we need to be able to have her on the floor. I think it helps from a depth standpoint and definitely a versatility standpoint. You know, Reagan's somebody who's going to come in and hit threes and hit big shots like you saw today. That's what we recruited her to do. I don't think she shied away from that, and those two players were critical in the outcome today for sure.
Second question, what's it like to be able to have Shelby Coker back after such a long break, and especially with her producing at such high efficiency?
You know, I'm going to try not to get emotional when I think about Shelby's journey. There's no chance we win today without her on the floor. I think she's for sure one of the most competitive players that I've ever coached. And she'll do what's ever asked of her. She'll do whatever it takes. And she's a very special player. Obviously, the box score shows that. But it's really her heart that makes her so special to this program, and we're super lucky to have her back.
And then I know she didn't necessarily get too much time in the second half, but what is just, I guess, the significance of finally being able to coach Lexi in her first regular season game? I know she got some action in the exhibition game, but could you just speak on the significance of being able to coach your daughter for the first time?
Well, you're just going to bring up all the emotional questions, aren't you? You know, I think, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, what I've really been proud of is she has, I think, earned the respect of her teammates, right? She's come in, she's worked hard, she's done all the things that I would expect somebody to do that is fighting for playing time. Whether that's, like you saw today, a few minutes or more or zero. She's going to go to work the same way every day. And I think when I reflect on this opportunity, that's right now, that's what I'm most proud of.
And my final question for you, Coach, is you guys now head down to Iowa for such a huge stage. I believe you said it was Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's all going on that night.
So I guess how are you guys preparing to take on that pressure? Or are you guys preparing just like any other game?
Well, right now we're going to recover from a heck of a battle today, right? You know, it's going to be a great opportunity. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be all of those things. But when the ball is thrown up and the tip happens, for 40 minutes we're going to compete against them just like we would anybody else on our schedule. They're very good. Everybody knows that. We know their personnel well because if you've followed women's basketball in the last couple of years, obviously you know about the Iowa Hawkeyes. So I think from that standpoint, we're excited to be a part of it. But it's going to be 40 minutes of what I hope to be a great ball game.
Sweet. And now my question for you, Shelby. What was it like to be back after more than a year-long break?
I was very excited for today's game, and I think there's no feeling like being out there and hitting that first shot, and you hear all those kids start screaming. So it was really special.
Oh yeah, and speaking about that, I thought it was an actually awesome atmosphere. Could each of you touch on just like what it was like to be playing with all those screaming kids, getting just super into the game?
They were like the sixth man today because I think without them, they might have made some more free throws. So they definitely kept us in the game right there.
Yeah, the experience with all those kids in there is just amazing. And like, it's a pleasure to be able to have to scream on defense for my teammates to hear me. You know, that's a pleasure. So it's awesome.
Coach, you want to touch on the Education Day atmosphere also?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when I think about the growth of the sport, especially in the last couple of years, I think the role model hat that these guys wear for all of the young kids is really important. I know they take that seriously. And I think when we can have a day like today, Education Day, where they get an opportunity to come and watch these guys compete and then understand that they're the same people that they see on High Five Friday. And they can really look up to them with everything that they've done, not just basketball-wise, but academically, and then what that looks like from a leadership standpoint.
And then Shelby, another question for you is, you almost had a triple-double, like in your first game back, and I don't think there's been a triple-double recorded since 2011, I think I heard. But basically, my question is, how are you able to be so efficient, especially against such a strict and stingy defense like Louisiana's?
Yeah, the coaches put me in a position where I know that I'm going to have the ball a lot, so I know I need to be able to hit the people that are open, and I think that my teammates did a great job hitting down shots when they needed to. So just executing what is asked of me and with the help of my teammates, I think that really goes a long way.
And then, Brooke, in that last final kind of like 20 seconds, it was just almost complete madness. What was going through your mind when you recorded that like game-sealing block, and yeah, just what was going through your head?
You know, that's not something that we just draw out of our back pocket. Like, that's something that we practice in practice all the time, is last-minute situations. So, yes, you could say it's nerve-wracking, but it's something we've done 100 times in practice. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable in that position. And then you got to, like, recognize, like, Alicia driving on that last second, or throwing that layup up, and, like, I would not have been able to grab that rebound if she wasn't aggressive to the basket. So just pointing out, like, other people, it doesn't matter, like, who gets the points. It matters the team, how the team reacts in the last second situation.
And then also another question for you. You may not have gotten off to like the fastest start, but you really came through in the second half, fourth quarter, like specifically. What enabled you to be able to just see the game through and play all 40 minutes?
You know, like, not every situation is going to be the same thing, and that's something that I've tried to recognize. I'm going to go out there and do my best every single time, and do what I need to do and what I need to do for the team. And if that's a lower amount of points, that's a lower amount of points. If that's a higher amount of rebounds, like, I need to do what I need to do in that situation, that specific situation, for the team.
All right, I think all good.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Congratulations.